My name is Kelsey Garrett, and I'm 26 years old, born in 1993. I'm from all over the place.
Okay.
I was born in Philadelphia, grew up in Illinois, mostly grew up in Missouri, lived in Cleveland a couple of years, and now I'm here in Long Beach. As long as I can remember, it's always been, like, ever since I was a little kid, I was always drawing. In school, I got in trouble. I never really got in trouble in school except for one time when I drew a lot of mermaids in 4th grade, and I remember specifically getting punished for it because the boys couldn't handle the seashell bras. But I've always, side note, I've always been drawing. So I took classes when I was younger. I did it all through high school, did it all through college, and I'm doing it now. So it's kind of, I've always had a lot of different hobbies, but art's always been the lean on and the go-to, and always been there. So.
Was there like any particular artist that inspired you to start, or what got you interested in it?
Nothing to start. I was just so little. I think I just liked drawing, and I remember like Crayola markers, I think, were some of the first things I ever played with, and I just really had a pretty active imagination as a kid. Would draw like crazy animals or fantasy things, and that was it.
Or anything like
I have so many old drawings of The Little Mermaid and The Lion King, because I love The Lion King.
Okay.
So I guess Disney, you could say, was a big inspiration.
Okay.
But I have all these old drawings of lions and mermaids.
Nice.
And The Land Before Time, dinosaurs.
In school, did you take art class?
Yeah. So I took the biggest one that was probably had the biggest influence on me. Well, there's a couple, but I took wood painting classes when I was in elementary school when I lived in St. Louis from this lady, Shalia Summers. I still remember her name, but it was like craft wood painting, and so I really got into acrylic painting that way. And then I was always taking art classes in high school. And
Did you take any classes in college, or like further, or was that just?
No, so I looked at going into art school and just decided I didn't want to do that.
Okay.
And I took one or two classes. I went to engineering college, and I took one art class. It was a Chinese calligraphy painting class because it was interesting, and I'd never played with it before, and it was awful.
Okay.
That stuff's hard. Massive respect for it. No, art kind of in college, I just painted coolers and made some side money that way.
Oh, that's
That's
awesome. What did you end up going to college for?
So I went to school for mining and explosives engineering. In school, I wanted to be a roller coaster engineer, and that's all I wanted to do.
Okay.
I love Roller Coaster Tycoon, and then I took some engineering classes and hated the engineering classes. But then I took an explosives camp in high school, so they sent you to the college I went to, and you just blew stuff up for a week in the middle of the summer.
Right.
And I loved that, so that's what I decided to go into mining, because it complemented explosives pretty well, and it was like a gritty industrial job rather than a computer desk job.
Right.
So.
Right. And where'd you end up going to college at?
Missouri S&T, Missouri University of Science and Technology, or UMR, Missouri Rolla.
Okay. So was it like you went away for school?
No.
It was like in the area?
No, I desperately wanted to move away, but I'm glad I didn't, because when you're younger, my whole life I was geared towards getting out of Missouri. What can I do to get out of Missouri?
Right.
And so I was like, I want to get out for college, but S&T is a great engineering school, and it's the only mining, and it's the only, not the only mining, but the only explosive school. So It worked out.
And then what about while you were going to college? Were you still working on your art at the time, or did you put it away for a while? Or?
So I worked on it a little bit. I think it was always there in the background, but there is like a space of time, I think, probably between like my junior year of college up until about a year post-grad where I wasn't doing it as much.
Right.
And that's kind of where my art picks up now again. So I had like huge alcohol problems, other addiction issues in that time period, and stress and a lot of depression.
Right.
And that, like, self-medicating through that, and kind of turned away from the art.
Okay.
But there's when I finally started getting back into it when I lived in Cleveland after I graduated. There's the first piece, and it's this face. It's called Rise, and it's got this girl and a lion on it, and that was like me coming back to art and being like, all right, we're gonna get my life back on track. We're gonna get the art back on track. We're gonna get things back on track. And so art really kind of helped pull me out of that 3-year hole.
Okay.
So, yeah.
So what about your move to Long Beach? What was the reasoning behind that?
So I moved to Long Beach It was more of an LA than a Long Beach move.
Okay.
But I work for, well, I don't want to say the company name on the, I just don't want to.
No,
Yeah,
that's fine.
okay.
Yeah, that's fine.
I work in the welding industry, and I was an instructor, so I taught people how to weld, how to use our equipment, things of that nature. And I was doing trainings out here in LA, and I was really enjoying LA, and I kind of made the decision in October. I was like, I'm going to move to Los Angeles in 10 years, with or without this company, with or without this job. We're going to figure this out. And within 5 months, a posting within my company became available out here in Los Angeles. So I said, well, that's the sign I need, and I applied and got it and moved out here. And so specifically Long Beach it's expensive as all get out in LA. And I was convinced I wanted to live in Venice, but the traffic was terrible and I couldn't find a parking spot. And so Long Beach is kind of in the center of my sales territory, and it just felt like home. It wasn't super LA fake, but very down to earth and on the beach, and less expensive than some of the other options I was looking at. So,
Right.
There's no.
Did the idea of your passion for art come into mind at all, on your decision to move here, or was it something later on you thought about, or?
No, it was definitely so kind of the turning point of why I wanted to come to LA more so than just coming out here for work was one of my coworkers I was traveling with. His good friend is a tattoo artist out here, and we went and got tattoos from him. And I've always kind of in the back of my head thought that would be a really, I'm not sure what I want to do with art. I know I want it to be my main career, my main passion, and I've always enjoyed tattooing, and I want more. But talking to him about it, he's like, you just got to take the leap. You just got to trust it. You just got to go after it and do it. And I kind of had a come to Jesus moment with myself, if you want to do this, go out there and do it. So, more so than Cleveland, Ohio, Missouri, all the places I've lived, art you've got a lot more paths out in LA and other places. So that definitely was a huge part of why I wanted to come out here.
Do you feel that you're more motivated and inspired being out here to pursue your art?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It's just a whole different vibe out here. It's totally different. So, getting to be a part of this is something I would have ever had,
Right.
nothing like this back home. So.
Well, that was when we decided to put this show on. Like I mentioned before, it's mostly Hawaii friends,
Yeah.
But we definitely wanted to bring our friends, our other friends outside of Hawaii on board with this. And I knew how passionate about art you were, and so it's an opportunity. It's hey, that's my whole thing. It's always been my whole thing. With everything is always giving people an opportunity and giving them a chance to do something, instead of using the same artist time and time again.
Yeah.
Because I find in the art world that's always what happens. It's always the same people getting the same opportunity, getting all the opportunities.
Yeah.
When there's all kinds of other talent, and we just let that other talent have an opportunity. That person's going to end up growing, and you never know. You never know what's going to happen. That person may take off. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we're very happy to have you as part of our show, and I'm sure that you'll be